Most interview podcasts today invite their guests to present their own worldview without much challenge or context. I want to change that. In this video, I'm going to introduce myself, explain why I'm pivoting towards journalism, and share the vision behind Level with me, a podcast I'm starting to bring more honest and nuanced conversations around the issues shaping modern life, especially here in Europe. My name is Vera Baló, I'm in my late 20s, I'm Hungarian, but I currently live in the Netherlands. My background is in business and sustainability startups. I've studied this, I've worked in it, and I even built my own small company. I really enjoyed learning how businesses work, how operations scale, and I especially liked seeing how entrepreneurs try to change the world. However, recently I realized that building businesses is not what I'm truly passionate about. What I really care about is understanding how the world that these businesses try to innovate in works. What are the social, economic, political, cultural, and human dynamics that shape our systems and the way we live? So I decided to pivot and pursue a career in journalism. I'm still at the beginning of that journey, and this is actually my first time creating content like this, but the mission behind it is serious. My favorite way of discovering the world has always been through interview podcasts. I enjoy listening by working, cooking, or commuting, and I learn about ideas and movements and problems that shape our future. From personal health to entrepreneurship or politics, I can go down any rabbit hole. But I always felt like one thing was missing: critical thinking. Most podcasts today invite their guests and they present their own narratives without being challenged by industry context, alternative data, opposing arguments, or the practical limitations of their own ideas and perspectives. Our world is complex. If an idea sounds simple or obvious, it is probably incomplete. And in an age where algorithms already constantly feed us content that we already agree with, I believe that we really need spaces where ideas can be questioned, even the ones that we believe in or support. And that is why I'm starting Level with me, to show that curiosity and critical thinking can be respectful, fun, interesting, and engaging, and to have conversations that go deeper than our social media feeds. I've lived in multiple countries, worked in different industries, and I regularly navigate groups where people see the world very differently. I know how strong our bubbles can be, and I'm no different myself. So my goal isn't to present my own take. It's to ask questions that reveal complexity, questions that introduce context, nuance, and sometimes discomfort, but always with respect, empathy, and curiosity. Let me give you an example. Take gender equality. Most discussions focus on how women are underrepresented and underpaid, which is important, but there are more parts of that picture. For example, in many countries, women now outnumber men in higher education, and there are cities where young women earn more than young men do. What does that mean for the future? Women's experiences also differ significantly based on race, nationality, or sexuality. Who gets to decide what gender equality is? And what about women's own agency and responsibility, about the decisions that we make, from office politics to family decisions? How do our choices shape social norms? And what does success look like? Not just for women, but for men, for families, and societies as a whole. There are so many questions to ask. These are the kinds of conversations I will have about inequality, democracy, AI, work, wealth, finance, health, topics that shape modern life and often polarize us. Not because controversy is fun, although I think it is, but because it often hides complexity. And I will be looking at many of these issues through a primarily European lens. A lot of content in this space is centered around US discussions and perspective. But here in Europe, we face very different cultural, political, and economic realities, from migration to labor markets or social security, I want to explore these issues as they unfold here. Each episode will feature one or more guests presenting their perspectives, and my role is to ask very researched, challenging, and clarifying questions, not to debate them, but to think more deeply together. Over the past few weeks, I've been learning about filming, editing, and sound. I've been experimenting with long and short form writing on Substack and on LinkedIn. I've been interviewing my friends and preparing for the first official episode of Level with Me. I invite you to join me on the journey of making this show a reality. Subscribe here so you don't miss the first episode, and join my Substack so you can follow the process of preparing for the podcast. And tell me in the comments, what topic do you feel is always oversimplified and deserves a more nuanced conversation? Thank you very much for being here. I look forward to having these conversations and to discussing them with you.